3. So we got the movie Return to Silent Hill is a scary horror mystery movie based on the legendary IP, specifically the video game Silent Hill 2, which guess what? I have the physical copy on PlayStation 5, the remake. I literally picked it up in October of 2024. I played it and I finished it and I got one of the endings, which we'll talk about here. Although strangely enough, rumors suggest that this movie feels more resemblance or akin to the PlayStation 2 Silent Hill 2 rather than the high fidelity remake that we just got. I've never played the PS2 version, although I've seen Let's Plays, deep dives, and Lord's videos before picking this up so I can understand the story better. So that was pretty cool. However, an interesting note, this movie is directed by Christopher Gaines, which is significant because guess what? 20 years ago, he also directed the original 2006 Silent Hill. 20 years ago. I know, right? That's crazy. That movie was the one with the little girl saying, Silent Hill, Silent Hill, and the mother's telling her to go to Silent Hill and they go on the Jeep and it's like, you know, that was the one. That movie terrified me when I was 14 years old. It was really scary back then, although it's been a while since I've seen it. Actually, no, I've seen it like 2 years ago. So that's that. But begs the question, is it faithful adaptation? Will it ruin your connection to the game if you played it? And is it worth your time? Find out as we talk about it. First off, I have to ask, and this is a big red flag, why is this releasing in January? When I heard they were making a Return to Silent Hill that was going to be a quote-unquote faithful adaptation to the source material, which is the video game, I was like, great, that's awesome. And then when I heard that it was found out in January, I was like, oh no, I just turned down because I'm like, dude, this is so out of place. If you release a movie like this, it belongs in the scary fall Halloween vibes. Dumping this movie in January, where movies, let's be honest, usually go to die. I'm sorry, it's not their fault. It's a huge red flag. Sometimes we do get good hits like Escape Room that came out in January of 2019, or Megan that came out in January a few years ago, but usually it's a bad sign. And let's be real, the game came out in October of 2024 and got amazing reviews. This movie completely feels out of place, and I'm sorry, it's definitely not getting a good review. So let's just keep it at that. They should have, they probably had no faith in it, which sucks. I'm like, bro, come on. This is your third time doing a Silent Hill movie. Think about it. We had Silent Hill 2006, Silent Hill Revelations, where she gets older and they want her back. And then we have this. I appreciate the effort, but come on. Silent Hill fans, you basically, come on. You have the story written for you here. This movie changes a lot of things. Anyway, moving right along, the story and the changes. Painter James. We follow James Sunderland, who in this version is an artist and a painter. And honestly, actually, I thought this was interesting. In the game, James, when I played it, his job is a blank slate. We don't really know what he does in his life of work, or is it really interesting or whatever. So making him an artist in this movie elevates his backstory just a little bit. He travels in his Mustang, lol, and it's funny they use that car. He bumps into Mary, right? Movie takes liberties here, showing us flashbacks of the blossoming of their romance, which we didn't really get in the game. We just knew that Mary died of that damn disease 3 years ago, lol, just like how he said it in the game. But it does follow the formula. He starts with a bathroom stall, he washes his hands, he put his hand to his face, right? And he walks down the forest, he meets Angela, finds the radio warning him of the monsters, right? If you played the game, the structure is there, but the execution, man, that's where we really started having problems, to be honest. The look, the fan art with money. Does the movie look like Silent Hill? Yes, but at what cost? I'm going to be honest. This feels like a high-budget fan-made film. I don't mean to be disrespectful. The CGI and the green screen, especially at Toluca Lake, may look good on trailers that you see on the phone, right? It may look decent. But when you watch it in the movie, I'm like, dude, that feels so weird. That feels so out of place, as I said before. It kind of feels disrespectful to the source material. Yes, it does look similar, but the quality is not there. The quality just feels off. I'm like, you just took like PS2 copies and rendered it in HD and closed it up a little bit. Yes, it kind of looks believable on a phone. On a phone. I don't watch trailers before I see a movie. I watch trailers after to give you a better crafted review. When I was watching it to get photos for the images that you see on here now, I'm like, it looks good on the phone, but when you watch it in theaters, I'm like, what? It looks worse than the PS5 game running on my console right now, and just regular PS5, no PS5 Pro. And this is supposed to be a blockbuster blockbuster movie, let me tell you. The fire scene, you know, the fire scene that he has with Angela, that looks so fake. Like when he's running through that scene, I'm like, dude, the PS5 version looks so much better. Especially when Angela's telling him, give me back the knife. And it looks bad. The monsters do look grotesque, sure, but they do have the guts spilling out aesthetic, which is nice because that what it has in the game. But it kind of feels like it's a mod. It looks like fan art, to be honest with you. A budget, not a major motion picture. I couldn't help to feel that maybe the 2006, the 20 years ago movie looked a little bit better than this. When I saw that movie, I was scared. When I see this movie, this was the first time I see a movie that's scary where I slept great at night. Actually, no, I did have a nightmare. But I don't know if it's because of the movie. But anyway, that's besides the point. I will give credit where credit is due. They do keep the two worlds aspect entitled or intact, as I would say. You know, in the movie, the 2006, and also in this one and in the game, there's two worlds. I mean, yeah, both of them is bad, but you get the dark, isolated, ashy world in terms of the daytime, and then when the siren rings, that's where like the hellish atmosphere comes to play, and that's where like the more scarier demonic monsters come out. So they do have that aspect here, and the ash still comes down and it like messes with your face, which is amazing. I mean, it was the same director. And in the game, there's two worlds too, especially when you get to some scenes in the game. The world changes, and you still have that here. The characters, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's break down the cast because this is a mixed bag and not in the good way that you want to know about it. James, he looks the part, right? Okay, he looks the part, same clothes, he even has the flashlight. I don't think he has the wooden plank. He gets some kind of belt or bat or whatever. I don't even know what's it called. It's not even long enough like it was in the game. But the voice acting, I'm sorry. The game is far superior in this field. The models in the PS5 convey more emotion than the real actors in here, and that is crazy. Like I told you, this is supposed to be a budget major blockbuster title, and it doesn't even compare to the game, because the game, I'm like, dude, this is so much worse than the game, showing us that he was kind of a drunk. If you don't know, when you played the game, and it's not really cut and dry, when you played the game, when you get to Heaven's Night with the Maria scene, he looks at the cup of alcohol and he's tempting to get that drink because he's an alcoholic. He was, and that scene showed us everything. And in this movie, in the beginning, yeah, he's drinking because he lost the love of his life. So I understand, but I don't know if people would understand that. Angela, I'm so sorry, Angela, they did her dirty. You don't get the iconic lines of, are you lost? Or can you bring me back the knife? She is sprinkled throughout the movie, and her boss room is rushed. It felt like a checklist rather than a character arc. I mean, most of these characters felt like just checklists, you know? They didn't feel like their arc was intact, especially in the game. The movie is like 1 hour and 46 minutes, and some of that runtime is bogged down by weird additions that didn't make sense. The reason why I like James's Painter is because it just added to his story without taking away from like everything else. But I guess it did because the way the movie turned out. But I'm like, alright, that's cool, and it didn't spend too much time on it. Yeah, I spent like a few minutes, but to me that was fine. Eddie, he's only in here for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. You see him throwing up in the bathroom, and that's it. What a total waste. You don't see him later on in the movie. You don't see him getting pizza. You don't even see him getting with the gun saying that you just put the gun to their head and pow. You don't even get his boss room. He doesn't even talk to Lara. It's crazy. Mary and the cult. This is where I got annoyed. They try to give Mary a backstory involving a cult and her father poisoning her. It just felt so out of place. In the game, the mystery works because you don't know everything. The cult plot could have been deleted to make more room to flesh out Angela, Eddie, or even Maria. But the fact that they tried to add this in here, and in the movie she's like, there's sides of me that you might run away from. We don't even get that in the game. I get it that they try to do something, but they added way too much to try to like justify why she's here. I'm like, the fact that this is his wife, you should have just been justified. That's what I'm telling you. For James, I thought it was okay because he was a painter. But for this, they added way too much. This is like overblowing. I'm like, we don't need to know that. You know, Mary is there because it's a mystery. And now it's like, you're telling them, oh, you know, he paints and blah, blah, blah. And she has a cult thing, which I'm like, bro, you could have deleted that. We needed more of the intact story, not additions from inspirations, what you thought what the characters were going to be. The entity, Maria. Let's talk about Maria. I did like her look, although again, it does feel fan art with money rather than blockbuster level. I couldn't help to feel that it was kind of cheap costumes from like Spirit Halloween, although Spirit Halloween, if you're watching this, you're not cheap, you're kind of expensive, but you're doing good at costumes. But anyway, that's besides the point. I'm like, alright, you still look good. The actress does a great job. It's the same actress that plays Mary and Maria, but it's a weird visual change. In the game, Mary has brown hair, but in the game, Maria has short blonde hair. to distinguish them in the movie. They're both blonde in the movie. That's crazy. Mary's is just longer. It's a small detail, but it matters. Maria is supposed to be the sexual seduction, the idealized version of James Sunderland's new girl that he's yearning for, right? Or what he wanted Mary to be at the end of their relationship, or maybe throughout. I mean, don't get me wrong, both characters, Maria and Mary, still look downright gorgeous. The only thing that in the game is supposed to say is that James is supposed to say, you look similar, just your hair and clothes are different, right? And it doesn't have that. They still meet at Toluca Lake, although she doesn't really introduce him as Maria. She just says, let's go find her, you know? And that's it, let's go find her. But they do have some scenes where she says, I look just like her, or you look at me just the way you did with her. So that was pretty cool, but totally different from the game. The highlights, Laura, played by Evie Templeton. I think I'm saying her name right. She is a massive bright spot. Laura, the little girl, she's creepy, she's eerie, she's weird, she's kind of menacing, perfectly capturing the bratty energy from the game. And guess what? Guess what I found out after I saw the movie in cinemas? Laura is played by Evie Templeton, but that's not the kicker. It's the same actress who did the voice and the character model and the motion capture for the PS5 remake. That's why it feels so authentic. She is the same character. It's brilliant casting choices. She already had what she did in the game. She just put it on the screen for this. Because Laura, to me, I'm like, she looks similar. She looked familiar. She felt familiar. I'm like, dude, I mean, that's like the saving grace. I'm like, dude, you nailed it because you already had that role. The direction, video game camera. The movie really tries hard to mimic the game's camera angles, swinging shots, lingering behind James as he walks. I appreciate the effort. I really do. But it's hard to translate that from the game to movie. I bet you can do it, but it just didn't end up working here. It kind of felt like a Let's Play rather than a cinematic experience. And the bosses, cheap jump scares. Pyramid Head got significantly withered down his runtime. You don't even fight him, you just run from him. We don't even get the 2 Pyramid Head scenes. We have the Big Daddy scene, but a like downgraded level. And the first boss fight where, I don't even know what you call it. You go to the hospital and it's like a girl and like I'm telling you, she's just led her to the hospital bed and she's on the top and she's flying, whatever, right? It's like, dude, the bosses felt like just jump scares, you know? It felt disheartening. I mean, I get it as a movie, but like, you could have made something action like with guns, like in the game, but it's not even here. You don't even get the ending fight scene with Pyramid Head in the movie. And the game is so significant because it was supposed to symbolize, and I'm not spoiling it, that James has come to surface of what has happened without spoiling the game. But still, you don't even get that here. The music, Too Little, Too Late. You know how Silent Hill 2 had one of the greatest soundtracks of all time? Well, this movie saves it literally back to back towards the end. I was watching the whole movie waiting for the theme of Lara, Promise, Reprise, you know, and we don't even get that until the last 10 minutes of the movie. And the credits, it's bizarre. They have the rights to the music, but you aren't going to build it. You aren't going to use it to build the atmosphere. Totally bad on your part. Not our fault, your fault. The ending, the time loop theory. Now, spoiler alert, this is where we get a little dicey and talk about the ending of the movie. And one of the endings from the game. They chose the in water ending. If you've never played the game, there's multiple endings. And on my first playthrough, I chose the Maria ending because I just absolutely love that character. I love what she is, what she stands. I know that's kind of devious of me, but I do like Maria a lot. They chose the in water ending, right? So what is that? James puts Mary's body in his car and they drive to the lake. It's tragic and symbolizes that he's like, we're gonna be together forever now and I'm sorry, baby, you know, blah, blah, blah. So he puts in the car in the game and then they drive up to the Toluca Lake and then they crash and they both die. Right? But in the movie, it resets. So it amplifies a time reloop. The movie ends with James waking back up in his Mustang, meeting Mary again. And guess where they meet? They meet in the same place as like the bathroom stall, him parked overlooking the lake in Toluca Lake, right? He has a smile on his face. This confirms the time loop theory. James in his personal hell, forced to relive over and over until he makes the right decisions or set her free. When I first saw the time loop, I thought it was really cool. I'm like, wow, he has to live heaven and hell because who's gonna want that? I mean, yeah, he's still gonna have time with her, to be inside with her, make that relationship work again. But to see her die multiple times over and over, I don't know if you would consider that heaven. I mean, that's heaven and hell. He has to do this over again, make different decisions. I mean, Mary did say, that's what I was trying to leave. You know, oh my gosh. But I know some fans are up in arms about this, but I personally did like the ending, the time loop theory, because, excuse me, when I did my first playthrough of the game, right, I wanted to play it again, but it was already November, and I have a weird rule where if I want to play a scary horror video game, it has to be in October. So I will not touch this game until October of this year, right? I'm just a weird sucker like that. Like, that's why I'm telling you, this movie felt out of place. If you're going to release a scary movie, at least tie it to the theme or climate that you're releasing it in. or release it in the month of the scary Halloween season, right? But still, I do want to play it again. There's multiple endings. There's new endings that in the game that didn't have in the PS2 version, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. The verdict. Did I like the movie? Honestly, yeah, I'm a sucker for this, mainly because I love the franchise, but I have to take my subjectivity out of the film. This is one of those movies for me personally where it's so good, it's bad. It's a cult following. I did appreciate it, and I'm definitely gonna buy the Blu-ray in 4K. Although to be honest, taking my subjectivity out, no, it's not a good movie. It kind of sucks, to be honest. End of the day, I'm gonna give this a grade D. It looks like Silent Hill, but everything else is downgrade. The CGI is cheap, the acting is much worse than the PS5 game, and they rushed some of the most important storylines in the game that were not even translated into movie. It felt like a cheap cash grab that did not respect the source material of the soul of the game, but only respected the cinematic look or the feel of it, right? If you're a fan, you're probably gonna watch it anyway, but honestly, I'd rather just go play the PS5 remake version because it's such a more better movie than the game. You could even find like Let's Play cinematic cutscenes of PS5 remake, right? Honestly, I'm happy and thankful, but this video review is way too long. I don't even think it's gonna be like this. If you made it this far, please consider hitting that like button and turning on notifications so you never miss a video. With that, take care, bye.